Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah?
And today we're going right to Hockey Town,
Right.
to talk about the Detroit Red Wings
Yeah. Yeah.
and their attempt to shake off like 8 years of
Ooh.
playoff dust.
8 years of playoff dust is a long time.
I know.
It's actually a record.
I know.
They have the longest playoff drought
It's rough.
in NHL history at this point.
Yeah.
So that's got to weigh on everybody,
Yeah,
the fans, the players, the whole organization.
absolutely.
Oh, big deal.
And I think that's why everybody's kind of buzzing about this new move that they made
Right.
to bring in Todd McLellan.
A veteran coach.
Yeah, a veteran coach with a long and pretty impressive resume.
Absolutely.
I mean, over 1,100 games coached.
Wow.
And he's sixth among active NHL coaches in total wins.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's seen it all.
He's seen a lot.
He's been there, done that.
He has. But the question is, can he translate all that experience into success for a team that honestly has been struggling?
Yeah, and I mean, let's not sugarcoat it.
No.
29th in goals per game,
Oof.
25th in goals against,
Yeah.
and dead last on the penalty kill.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't follow hockey super closely and might not know all of the lingo,
Yeah.
the penalty kill is basically how well a team defends
Right.
when they have a player in the penalty box.
Exactly.
And being dead last
But
means
see, you're letting in way too many goals when you're shorthanded.
way too many goals.
Not a good recipe for success.
Not good.
Not at all.
So
McLellan, though,
yeah.
does have a reputation for developing young talent,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Especially the Red Wings have a lot of young players.
A lot of potential on that roster.
A lot of potential. But his playoff record is...
Let's just say it's a mixed bag.
It is a mixed bag.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not all sunshine and roses with McLellan.
Right.
He's been in the playoffs a bunch of times.
Yeah, he's led teams to the playoffs multiple times.
Those Stanley Cup dreams have not materialized yet.
Those deep runs haven't really happened.
Like, take his stint with the Kings.
Right.
Back-to-back playoff appearances.
Yep.
Both ended.
Early exits.
Early exits, first round.
First rounds, yeah. And if you look closer at those playoff losses,
Yeah.
there's kind of a pattern there.
Yeah.
His teams often struggle to adapt to the faster, more physical style of playoff hockey.
Yeah.
They would kind of stick to their regular season system.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't cut it in the playoffs.
So can he break that pattern?
Right.
In Detroit?
That's what we need to find out.
They need a coach who can not only get them through the regular season,
Right.
but also like make those adjustments when the pressure is on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's a big question mark for sure.
Okay, so before we get into all that, I want to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Why were the Red Wings even looking for a new coach in the first place?
Right.
What happened to Derek Lalonde?
Well, he came in.
Yeah, he had a lot of hype.
He had a ton of hype coming off of
2 Stanley Cups.
2 Stanley Cups as an assistant coach with the Lightning.
You think that success would translate
You would think.
to a head coaching role?
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair to Lalonde,
Yeah.
he did show some promise,
He did.
but 3 seasons in,
Yeah.
the team just wasn't making the progress they needed.
Right. And, I mean, let's be real, those pretty dismal stats we talked about
Yeah.
probably sealed his fate.
They didn't help.
Yeah, it's hard to keep a coach when a team is at the bottom of the league
It's tough to justify.
in so many key areas.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and it's easy to point fingers at the coach,
Right.
but we also have to remember that
Success in hockey is a team effort.
it is.
It's about the players executing.
Yeah.
It's about the management making smart decisions.
Yeah.
You need everybody on the same page.
Yeah, you can have the best coach in the world,
Right.
but if the players aren't performing or the front office isn't making the right moves,
Yeah, it's an uphill battle.
it's tough.
It is.
So Lalonde's gone in a kill. The spotlight falls on McLellan.
It does.
And the big question is,
Can he be the catalyst for change?
can he unlock the potential of this young Red Wings roster
Right.
and guide them back to playoff contention?
That's what everybody wants to know.
Yeah, he's stepping into a division known for its, like, fierce competition.
Yeah. The Atlantic Division is no joke.
It's a beast.
It's a beast.
Like, you've got the Maple Leafs, you've got the Lightning, you've got the Bruins,
right.
all perennial contenders.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be easy for the Red Wings to...
It's not going to be easy to crack into that top tier.
No.
Not at all.
It's almost like stepping into a lion's den.
It is.
But hey, maybe that's exactly the kind of challenge that McLellan thrives on.
Maybe that's what he needs.
You know?
Maybe this is his chance to prove he can compete with the best.
That's one way to look at it.
It is.
But he's not the only one
Right.
facing a new challenge.
Exactly.
The Red Wings also made some changes to the coaching staff.
They did.
Beyond just the head coach position.
Yeah, they brought in Trent Yawney as an assistant.
Oh, that's right.
And he has a history with McLellan.
Yeah.
They worked together in Los Angeles.
Okay, so there's already a level of like familiarity and trust there.
Yeah.
That could be huge in terms of making sure that transition is smooth.
Absolutely.
And getting everyone on the same page quickly.
It's like a built-in support system.
It is.
Somebody who understands McLellan's vision.
Yeah, it's like they speak the same language.
Right.
So
it will be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out.
Yeah. And, it's funny when you think about McLellan's journey to Detroit.
Yeah.
It's kind of a full circle moment.
It is.
He was actually an assistant coach for the Red Wings.
Way back.
Way back in 2008.
When they won the Stanley Cup.
When they won the Stanley Cup. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's a pretty cool story.
Like, can you imagine being back in Detroit? This time, leading the charge as the head coach.
It's like destiny.
It's kind of like destiny.
Yeah, it's a great narrative.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the Red Wings' long playoff drought.
Yeah.
Their decision to part ways with Lalonde.
Right.
And the fascinating backstory of Todd McLellan's return to Detroit.
Absolutely.
But the real, meat of this deep dive is yet to come.
Exactly. We've set the stage. We've introduced the key players. We've established the high stakes of this coaching change.
Yeah.
Now it's time to really dig into what McLellan brings to the table.
Yeah.
And whether he truly has what it takes to turn the Red Wings' fortunes around.
Yeah. Does he have what it takes?
Yeah.
So does he have what it takes? I mean, it's the million-dollar question, right?
It is the million-dollar question.
To turn the Red Wings around.
Yeah. And I think to answer that, we need to take a closer look at his coaching philosophy.
Okay.
So, McLellan is known for his structured defense-first system that emphasizes puck possession.
Okay.
And responsible play in all three zones.
Break that down for me.
What does that actually look like?
Yeah, what does a defense-first system actually look like on the ice?
Right.
Are Red Wings fans going to be bored?
Yeah. Are they going to be watching like a snooze fest trap style of hockey?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be playing this boring trap style of hockey. It's more about establishing a solid defensive foundation first and then building from there.
Okay.
So McLellan's teams are known for their tight gaps.
Okay.
Aggressive forechecking and a quick transition game.
So not just sitting back and waiting for the other team to make a mistake.
Right.
They're also trying to create turnovers and capitalize on those opportunities.
Exactly.
Which sounds promising.
Yeah.
Considering they've had a tough time generating consistent offense.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really stands out about McLellan is his attention to detail.
Okay.
He's a meticulous coach, demands a high level of execution from his players.
Okay.
And he's not afraid to hold players accountable.
Ooh, accountability.
Even star players.
That's a word you hear a lot.
You do.
When teams are struggling.
Especially when teams are struggling.
Is it just tough talk or does he actually walk the walk?
Right. Does he back it up?
Yeah. Does he have a track record of getting buy-in from his players?
He does.
Okay.
And I think, his experience coaching some of the biggest names in the game.
Yeah.
Guys like Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Drew Doughty.
Right.
I mean, that speaks volumes about his ability to command respect.
Okay.
And get players to buy into his system.
Yeah, you don't last very long coaching superstars like that if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But let's bring this back to the Red Wings' current roster.
Okay.
Do you think his system is a good fit?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, the Red Wings have a lot of young players.
They do?
Who are still developing. And McLellan's structured system could provide them with the guidance and the discipline that they need to reach their full potential.
So it's like strong foundation.
Right. It's like having that strong foundation to build on.
Yeah, but are there any downsides?
Well, one concern is that it could stifle some of the creativity and offensive flair of certain players.
Yeah.
If players are too focused on sticking to the system, they might hesitate to take risks.
Yeah.
Or make those highlight reel plays.
So it's that balance.
Yeah.
It's finding that balance.
It's finding that balance.
Between structure and freedom.
Exactly.
You don't want to completely squash individual talent.
Right.
But you need everybody working together.
You need everybody working together toward that common goal.
Toward that common goal. So it sounds like...
So it's going to be interesting.
There's potential for both success and challenges.
There is.
Not a guaranteed slam dunk.
Right.
But it's also not doomed from the start.
Right. It's not a guarantee, but it's not a disaster either.
It's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out.
It is. And one of the biggest storylines is going to be how McLellan handles those young players.
Riel talked about it.
Like we mentioned the Red Wings.
They've got a lot of potential on that roster.
They've got a roster full of promising prospects.
Lucas Raymond.
Moritz
Seider.
Guys
who are already making an impact.
They are. And Dylan Larkin, the captain.
Yeah.
He's been carrying a heavy load for this team.
He has.
Imagine what he could do with a coach.
Yeah.
Who can help him elevate his game even further.
Yeah, and think about the impact McLellan had on a young Connor McDavid in Edmonton.
Right.
I mean, McDavid was already phenomenal.
He was already a star.
But under his guidance, he blossomed.
He became a superstar.
I mean, Red Wings fans are probably thinking.
Right. Could he work the same magic?
Could he do it again?
With Larkin, Raymond, Seider.
Yeah.
It's almost too much to ask for, right? But it's important to be realistic.
Yeah.
Replicating that level of success.
Yeah.
That's a tall order.
That's tough.
But the potential is there.
The potential is there.
And if McLellan can create an environment where those young players can thrive,
yeah,
the Red Wings could be a force in a few years.
So we've talked about his system.
Right.
His track record with young players.
Yeah.
The potential impact on the roster.
Right.
Let's talk about a specific area where they have struggled.
Okay.
The power play.
The power play has been a problem.
They're currently ranked 22nd in the league.
Which is not good.
Which is terrible.
Not good at all.
No. Can McLellan fix that?
That's another big question.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that his teams haven't always been known for their offensive firepower.
Right.
You know, his focus on defense and structure sometimes came at the expense of offensive creativity.
Especially on the power play. So it's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee.
That he's going to wave a magic wand and suddenly the Red Wings power play is amazing.
No, but that doesn't mean he can't improve things.
Okay.
One of the things McLellan emphasizes is quick puck movement and finding open lanes for shots.
Okay.
So if he can instill that kind of discipline and execution into the power play unit, they should be able to generate more scoring chances.
So it's not just about having a fancy set play.
It's not about having a fancy set play.
It's also about making smart decisions.
It's about reading the defense.
Yeah.
And creating those high-danger scoring opportunities.
So we'll have to wait and see. How this translates.
Right. And I think the first few games under McLellan
are going to be really telling.
Are going to be very telling.
Are we going to see a more structured, disciplined Red Wings team?
Right. Are they going to be more aggressive on the forecheck?
Yeah.
Are they going to be quicker in transition?
Is the power play going to show signs of life?
Right. Is the power play going to wake up?
I mean, and speaking of those first few games, their first test is against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, boy.
Talk about a trial by fire. I mean, the Leafs are a powerhouse.
They are a powerhouse.
I mean, their offense is led by pretty much everybody.
Everybody can score on that team.
It's going to be a baptism by fire.
It is.
I'm sure.
And I'm curious to see how McLellan approaches that game.
Yeah, what's the game plan?
Does he try to match the Leafs' firepower with an offensive game plan?
Yeah.
Or does he go back to his roots?
Yeah.
Focus on shutting down their top players?
I mean, it's a tough call.
It's a tough call.
And it's not just that one game.
Right.
They've got a brutal schedule early in the season.
Did he do?
I mean, they play Tampa, they play Boston, they play Florida.
They've got all the big dogs early on.
All within the first few weeks.
It's a gauntlet.
It is.
It's going to be a real test.
Of his coaching abilities.
His coaching abilities and the team's resilience.
Yeah.
Can they hang with the big boys?
Are they going to be competitive?
Right.
Are they going to show signs of improvement?
Or are they going to get steamrolled?
Or are they just going to get overwhelmed?
Right.
I mean, this is what makes the start of every season so exciting.
It is. There are so many possibilities.
The possibilities are endless.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And, you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
There's this sense of optimism.
There is.
Surrounding the Red Wings.
I'm seeing it online.
That hasn't been there in years.
I'm seeing a lot of cautious optimism from Red Wings fans.
Yeah.
But also some healthy skepticism.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
In the air.
You can.
Like new coach, new hope.
Right. New coach, new hope, new era.
Yeah. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Don't get too excited.
Yeah. 8 years of disappointment.
8 years is a long time.
We'll do that too.
It will temper your expectations for sure. It's interesting, isn't it?
What's that?
How like a single coaching change can just like inject so much energy into a fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm seeing it online with Red Wings fans.
Yeah. Are they optimistic?
There's a lot of like cautious optimism.
Understandably so.
Yeah. I mean, after 8 years of disappointment.
I bet.
You know?
Yeah.
They've been burned before.
Yeah, they've seen it all.
But there's also some healthy skepticism too.
What are like some of the specific concerns you're seeing from fans?
Well, a lot of people are pointing to McLellan's history with younger teams.
Oh, okay.
Like with Edmonton.
Yeah.
You know, he had McDavid,
David Tracer.
Sadel, all this incredible offensive talent.
Yeah.
And they never made it past the second round of the playoffs.
Right.
So the question is, can he get this Red Wings team, which, let's be honest, isn't quite at that level yet.
Not quite there yet.
Over the hump?
Can he get them there?
Can he get them to that next level?
Yeah.
That's the big question.
I think it ties back to what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
His system.
His system.
Some fans are worried that his, structured defense-first approach might actually stifle the creativity of some of these young, skilled players.
That's a valid concern.
It's a valid concern.
It is, but I also think it's important to remember that systems are only part of the equation.
Okay.
You know, a good coach knows how to adapt his system to the players he has and the opponents he's facing.
Yeah.
And McLellan has shown that he can be flexible.
Okay. So he's not just like a...
Right. He's not just like a my way or the highway type of coach. You know, he's worked with a variety of players and teams throughout his career.
Yeah.
So he's had to adjust his approach along the way.
Okay. I like that.
And I think that adaptability will be key in Detroit.
Yeah.
He needs to find a way to balance his defensive principles with the need to unleash the offensive potential of guys like Larkin, Raymond, and Seider.
It's a delicate dance.
It is.
You know, to find that sweet spot.
Right.
Where you're solid defensively, but you're also dangerous offensively.
Absolutely. And that's what makes coaching so fascinating.
Okay.
It's not just about X's and O's. It's about understanding your players, motivating them, creating an environment where they can thrive.
I like that. I think a lot of Red Wings fans are wondering what would even be considered a successful season under McLellan.
Right. What does success look like?
Yeah. Is it all about making the playoffs?
Is it playoffs or bust?
Yeah.
Or is there more to it?
Or are there other benchmarks we should be looking at?
Right. And I think it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
For some fans, just snapping that 8-year playoff drought would be a major victory.
Absolutely.
But I think for the organization and for McLellan himself, success goes beyond just making the playoffs.
Okay.
It's about building a sustainable winning culture.
Right. It's about setting them up for the future.
It's about laying the foundation for long-term success.
Long-term success,
So developing those young players.
Yeah.
Establishing a strong identity and making it clear that the Red Wings are once again a team to be reckoned with.
I like that. And I think, we could even see signs of that.
Right.
Even if they don't make the playoffs this year.
Exactly. Even if they fall short of the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they're more competitive.
If their special teams improve.
If those young players take a step forward.
Yeah.
Those are all positive signs.
Okay. So let's say hypothetically.
Okay.
Everything goes according to plan.
Right.
McLellan's system is working.
Yeah.
The players are buying in.
Okay.
The young core is blossoming.
All right.
And they're starting to win games consistently.
Okay.
How long do you realistically think
it
would take for them to become a legitimate Stanley Cup contender?
That is the million-dollar question. There's no easy answer. I mean, it depends on so many factors.
Yeah.
Player development injuries.
The competitive landscape. A little bit of luck.
You need some puck luck, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's tough to say.
What's your gut feeling?
Honestly, I think it's going to take a few years.
Okay.
Building a Stanley Cup contender takes time.
Yeah.
You need to draft well, develop your prospects.
Make smart moves.
Make smart moves in free agency and trades.
It's a process.
It's a process.
A process that Red Wings fans are probably all too familiar with.
They've been through it before.
I mean, they've seen the highs and lows.
They have.
And they know that patience is key.
Patience is key, but I think there's reason to be optimistic.
Yeah.
They have some exciting young talent.
They did.
They've made some smart moves in recent years, and now they have a coach.
Yeah.
Who has a proven track record.
Like all the pieces are starting to fall into place.
It seems like they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. Now it's just a matter of seeing if they can put it all together.
Right. Do those pieces fit?
Yeah. And form like a cohesive winning puzzle.
Exactly. Can they make it work?
Well, I think we've reached the end.
I think we have.
Of our deep dive.
It's been a great discussion.
Into the Red Wings coaching change.
It has.
We talked about McLellan's history, his coaching style.
Yep.
The potential impact.
Absolutely.
On the roster, the long road ahead.
We covered it all.
I think the big takeaway is
that this is just the beginning.
This is just the start
of the story. Yeah. There's still a lot of uncertainty.
A lot of potential.
A lot of potential.
A lot of excitement.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun to watch.
So to all of our listeners out there, we want to hear from you.
Hit us up.
What are your thoughts on the Red Wings' decision to bring in Todd McLellan?
Yeah, let us know.
Are you optimistic about the future?
Are you pessimistic?
Of this team?
Are you somewhere in between?
Yeah, let us know on social media.
We want to hear from you.
We love hearing from you guys.
We do.
And getting your perspectives.
Absolutely.
And as always, we'll be here to break it all down.
We'll be here every step of the way.
Provide insights and analysis.
Providing the insights.
Every step of the way.
You need.
So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
On this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning.
Keep diving deep.
And keep diving deep.